Hi guys, welcome to your daily reading. This is for Thursday, November 14th, 2019. It is insanely late. As you guys know, my Thursdays are my long days, so I'm just happy to get a video out tonight. So anyway, the energy that's coming through tonight is one that's very subtle. It's very gentle, and it speaks of a promise. So you guys hear that I speak of A Course in Miracles often, ACIM. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, please do. If and when the spirit moves you, it's definitely not a book that you force yourself to read. Now, the words that came through tonight definitely harken back to that book, and it's almost like I don't feel like I know the text well enough. I have to live it, breathe it, whatever, before I feel like I can preach it or talk about it or whatever verb you want to say. But they mentioned a term that brought me straight back to that book, and it is the term insane. So the words they said are commitment to the insane. And then later, the last card I pulled was this card of commitment. I'm like, part of me wants to talk about this concept of commitment, but it's been so long that I don't even know if I can speak to it. So definitely, I guess some of you may have read the text, or at least understand it for the most part, so you can kind of add your comments below. Though I question how many people understand it, right? It's just one of those things that keeps changing as you change. But from what I remember, insane and insanity basically refers to that state of mind that we live in consistently, where we just are living in this world of misperception, right? So it's not in a mean way that we're being called insane in A Course in Miracles. It's just that we literally are not in our right minds, or we're just not seeing well. So basically, the words that came through are commitment to the insane. Spirit actually started off saying in plain sight, and I was like, in plain sight, what does that even mean? And then I wanted to complete it with a collocation that we usually use, hiding in plain sight, but they didn't actually say the words hiding. I inferred that. So they said in plain sight, then they said your escapism, and then they said commitment to the insane, and the last words that they said, the lucrative. So it's almost like your commitment to the insane and the lucrative. So just based on the juxtaposition of all of those words, it makes me feel like they're making a commentary on just our connection and our commitment to insane thoughts, to living in a world that isn't real, to living within stories upon stories upon stories, where we've just become so disconnected to, the reality of things, understandably. And their commentary on our escapism, I guess, I don't know if that's lending a rationale to why we have fallen into such a relationship with things that aren't real. I'm not sure. So let's just start the reading, and forgive me, you know how it is when it's a little bit later in the evening. Anyway, so the energy I'm getting off of these cards, and you guys feel free to look at them as well, is like I'm seeing in this card here. What is the name of this card? Destiny. But when I'm looking at this card, I love it. It's so cute. It shows this one person playing an instrument to this object, whatever that is, and then right behind, and of course notice there are etchings on this stone, but notice right behind there's this very real flower that's there. When I feel into the energy of this card, it feels almost like a never-ending loving patience by God. This, more than anything, I have to be honest, this reading seems very much more like a God reading than any of the other readings that I've done. The other readings that I've done, so to speak, are high, they're pretty high in vibration. I always try to bring through high vibes. and the most recent ones have been pretty high vibe, but they've always been channeled by other beings and spirit and whatnot. But today's reading seems to be very much like a God presence, and I won't even try to explain that based on our limited understanding, but the energy just seems very very gentle. You can feel the intonation of my voice as well. Very gentle, very patient. Look at this card. It's this card, the energy that comes off of this dove spirit card. It's like this card, and then this elephant spirit card, and then there's one other card, the eagle card. I feel like more than anything, those three cards come together to create this energy of God, or that, I don't want to say superior, but that energy that all that is, that source energy. In all of these cards, those three cards just kind of stand out to me, and look how we've got two of them here in this one reading. And notice how the colors are very light. In this card, what is being communicated to me is that God is commenting on this connection that he has, or she has, with us. And the idea is, we have been given this gift, and God's commitment to us is that we can live and play and dwell and create and create and create to our heart's content. And it's like, even though he knows that we're not, and I'm just using he because whatever, it doesn't matter, right? But he knows that the reality is right here in this 3D, and that we are not even acknowledging that. We're not able to acknowledge that. We're still kind of in this playground, so to speak, where we're just creating and focusing on things that aren't real. And just as we, in short, he notices our commitment to the insane, and he even notices, to use the ACIM's terms, but he even notices that a lot of us may not even acknowledge or even be aware of this insanity, because to us, notice how the etchings are here. They both share the same dimension, so to speak. They're both etchings. Neither one realizes that there's something outside of it. They're both the same, and they perceive of each other to be the same. But God clearly sees everything and sees that actually we're not the same and one is more real than the other. But God's commitment is so loving, it's so kind, it's so compassionate, and the word that wants to come out is mostly, there are two words, and those words are gentle, and the other word is majestic. And it's just so patient, and it just watches us, and there's no rush ever to wake us from whatever this is, or to inform us of, our folly, if you would even want to use that term. It's like watching your children play and in the sand pit, and they're using a shovel as a hammer or something like that, and you're like, wait, when are they going to realize that that's actually not how you use it? But it doesn't matter, because they're just so occupied with it, and they're learning and having fun and enjoying themselves. And so it's that kind of energy. Notice here we have this energy of the male, we have this energy of the female, and then we have this energy of the thing. This just seems kind of like this three-way situation coming on. It's like a promise of divinity being together, and then this thing that the two of them can build. That's the energy that I'm picking up there. And as I'm doing this reading, it's dawning on me, it's almost like I don't even feel like tonight's daily reading is one that brings through a lesson, and I don't think it's one that's bringing through personal readings. I think it's kind of a new one. It just feels like one where God is just coming through. And I don't know if you guys can feel that, because notice this card, it says life is speeding up, but at the same time I'm seeing this card as God coming through, this God energy that just feels so different. And he's saying, look how he has his hand on his chest, and he's saying, like, life is speeding up, things are happening, but I will never leave your side. It just feels really sweet and just very, I don't know, just very amazing. It's like, I will never leave your side, and the idea is that my commitment is to you. And the words, the card right under that commitment is the card of dream. So it's almost like this whole dream, he knows that we're just dreaming, right? And he's allowing us to be in our dreams. And whether, we can call those dreams insane because they're not real and whatnot, he knows that we are haunted by our nightmares. Look at that. By the many stories that we've created, by in many ways not being able to see these things as stories. He knows and he watches and he sees that through our dreaming and through our nightmares that are created through our dreaming, he's neither trying to speed us up, nor reprimand us, nor pull us out, nor do anything but watch as lovingly as a mother would a child, as we, even though we're haunted by our own our own dreams and our own nightmares, he watches and stays by our sides and loves us, knowing that there's no harm ever coming to us, really, right? Ooh, forgive me, I just got a call from someone who I would definitely say is soul family. Amen. God bless her. How fitting that she would call just during this reading. Anyway, so that energy that God is bringing in today is also saying that even though he doesn't stop us from dreaming and this and that, he's saying that he does still enter our dreams. Isn't that a beautiful thing? I mean, there's no, he does nothing to impede upon our will and our ability to dream. And even as we create nightmares and become lost in our insanity and forget that which is real, he says he still enters into our dreams. And whenever I see the Temperance card, to me the Temperance card is the good doctor card, as I call this guy, because look at his little headpiece. It looks like one of those old school doctor headpieces, which I actually don't know the name of that headpiece at all. But he says he still enters into your dreams, into our dream, which is life, if only just to love us, right? So he's saying that as life speeds up for all of us, and in whatever way you want to think about life speeding up, in terms of like, oh my gosh, last year nothing was happening, now everything's happening, I'm losing this, I'm losing that, I'm finding this, I'm finding that. Or if you want to look at it in terms of the world generally, time is speeding up, things are happening, whatever it is that you perceive of to be speeding, because the word that they're saying is chaos. Actually, the word that's coming through is chaos. This feels, oh yeah, guys, you got to check out that text. They really are bringing that ACIM text through. I now feel like I need to go read it and get into it again. But they're using the word chaos. It's all chaos. They're saying if all is truly, if the only thing that is real is love, and yet we experience nightmares, then if we experience nightmares in a reality that is just love, they're saying that we must be perceiving of nightmares, right? It's only a perception because it's not true. Just as this person is going through a lot, but God sits patiently, almost like two different time frames. Here there's just sheer timelessness, and here things are speeding up and slowing down, and there's chaos and there's insanity, and these terms are terms that they use in the text. It's funny because I keep wanting to say these are terms they use in the Bible, but the A Course in Miracles has a kind of like, if you just look in it, you'd be like, oh, this sounds like a Bible, but it's actually not. But the word Bible wants to keep coming out. So I don't know if that's a commentary from Spirit or what, but it's definitely non-religious, they said. They literally just spoke that through me. So it's non-religious, they say. So, so they're saying, God is saying, and the guides too, those were guides. They're saying that even as life is speeding up, or you're perceiving or having this perception of speed amidst the chaos, God is here as that element of peace, as that unchanging thing, as that unyielding force that holds everything within it. And just I'm saying that look at this card. Actually, as I laid the cards and I flipped it over, I took a double take at this one. It's so strikingly beautiful. And the color that keeps coming in for me right now is that indigo color. Anything from this azure blue to a deep indigo blue, like those colors keep wanting to come in. And it's to the point where the other day I just almost went on. Well, actually, I did go online, but I didn't have time, so I couldn't complete my purchase. But I went to buy like deep indigo blue eyeliner. Like I just need to be around that color right now. And so when I flipped this over, I was like, oh, I took a double take. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh, it says, electric eel spirit, bring your ideas to life. But as we look in this card, I want you to see how all of these white swirls, it's like that's God holding within all of these things, all of these dream works that we create. It's beautiful. He is the very fabric upon which our ideas are cast, upon which our ideas are brought to life. And so it's like, if I could say, I would say this energy of God, I guess, the energy that's coming through feels almost like a beautiful blue ocean, that this color, gentle waves upon a cliff. It feels like timelessness. It feels like flecks of gold inside of the water as it's having nowhere to be, and just no time, no concept, just forever lapping against the cliffs. It feels like, how can I put this? That force that gives us an easel and allows us to just paint and watches us painting. I mean, there's like, in order to describe it, I can't even describe it except through these kinds of images, right? It's just beautiful. And it's that energy that is always coaxing us forward. It's always there. It's always here for us, and allows us to be, even in our deep, they're saying, commitment to insanity. God is there. God is there. All right. Now I'm seeing God now also as this grounding force. So it's almost like this as above, so below. So it's like in this beautiful elephant spirit, I'm seeing this energy that creates this grounding force. It doesn't necessarily have to be within the ground or the earth itself or wherever, what planet, whatever dimension. It's more like it focuses, it serves and functions as a polar opposite, the best of which we can say is a grounding force, right? But there's that acknowledgement there, and I don't even know what we're supposed to do with that, but maybe just to know that we do have an up, we do have a down. In a sense, there is this grounding. And there's also within there this sense of mystery, but mystery in a different way. As we see this crow spirit, it says co-create with spirit. It's like, it's almost like it's not fully mysterious. It's mysterious to us, but for God it's not a mystery. But for us it is the infinite mystery that is. Let's take a look. And notice it says co-create, co-create with spirit. It's like working together with God, with all of the tools that he has in his toolkit. To us is which those tools belong to the greatest mystery ever told. We just don't understand it. It's just so new, it's so whatnot, but at the same time it's not a mystery to God because all is known. Sorry guys, I hope this reading is making sense. It's almost like the higher up the energy, the more it can seem like it doesn't make sense to us. Because even me, as I have the good fortune of being able to feel the feelings along with the words. So my greatest hope is that as you connect to this, if this reading resonates with you and you're able to kind of connect with it, that there is a sense of frequency and energy that you're able to pick up on and that guides you. Now I almost wanted to say sense of gratitude, and it's almost like Spirit is saying this is energy coming through for you guys. They're saying you don't even need to understand it. Thank you, Spirit. You don't have to understand it. They're saying, even as I'm trying to speak, it's almost like it feels like a wind is blowing through my mouth, which is, I've never felt that before, but it feels like a wind is blowing through. And they're saying that what's coming out to us is perceived of as words, but it's almost like it doesn't matter what the words are. If you're on this call, the energy is what's coming through to you, and it's encoded with something. And so what I'm perceiving of and feeling as God, and getting images about it, and speaking words and putting words to it, they're saying it doesn't even come close to the energetic frequency and the divine code. That's almost like the best we can say, the divine code that is coming through. So if you are on this call and it vibes with you or doesn't vibe with you, just feel it and listen to it, and you will feel and you will receive energetically that which is designed to come to you. Wow, so Spirit is so good. We just love them. All right. You guys, listen, you know I love my job, right? You know I love it. I love this. It just feels really good. Now, as Spirit is saying that, they're acknowledging this. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sleepy. They're acknowledging this. I'm seeing this pathway through Spirit, and they're showing that it's neither to say it's an evolution or de-evolution. What's the word? Devolution? I don't know. They're showing just a lateral movement. It's moving through, just like this beautiful antelope spirit. So a lot of times we perceive of ourselves as, of course, we know it, ascending and being initiated in that and whatnot. And that's true. That's one way of describing it. But they're showing that if there is all that is, you're only always going to just be moving through it. And I'm seeing that energy here. And they're saying that one way that we perceive of this moving through all that is temporally. So a lot of times we can speak of having a past life, thank you, Spirit, as having a past life and future lives. See, it even says learn from the past, right? But really, at the end of the day, if there is no time, right, it's kind of like it just creates a different mentality. And yes, even though we're always learning and we're quote unquote evolving, if there is no timelessness and we are already as we are, and even as we're becoming, we already are, it's kind of like, what are we working towards, right? So that's when you get to that kind of level of spirit and stuff and such, you start to see paradoxes. You start to see oxymoronic ideas. It's like there, it's like everything and nothing. It's like forever and never. It's like we've always been around. We were never born because we always were. All those kinds of things. It's almost like for us becomes like a glass ceiling, and we hit that and we're like, wait, what do we do with that? And that's when we see the limitations of our human faculties. And yeah, Spirit is saying that's it. And they're saying on the one level, it's a nice feeling to hit that level, because it's like you can come to a place where you know that you may not understand a truth. For example, a truth that we always have been, and we neither started nor will we ever end. But for us, as we live, we know that there is only beginning and end. So for us to grasp a concept of never having a beginning or ending, but always just being, it's like, wait, I don't get it. And they say that's a beautiful place to be, because at least you've reached a place where you can encounter a truth, even if you don't know what it is a truth. And some people may never even get to that place of becoming aware of that truth, so to speak, right? Thank you. But Spirit is saying that for a lot of us, even as life is speeding up, and even as our existence is speeding up, and our ideas, it's really our perceptions of speed and feeling this need to be somewhere, they're saying to embrace the in-between. They're saying there's nothing wrong with sitting back and sitting up and reflecting and knowing, what am I rushing for? I am an eternal being. I always was, and I always will be. And there is no past and there is no future, there is only now. And so if we put it into that perspective, what are we rushing for? What is it that we're working towards? They're saying every moment that you can spend in that kind of moment of peace, you can I guess be closer to divinity than you can on your knees somewhere praying for something, right? So they're saying embrace that in between moment. See, guys, oh my God, what is Spirit trying to say? I was going to say in the Bible, but they're not talking about the Bible. They're talking about A Course in Miracles. I'm so surprised that they keep talking about it. Listen, let me let them do their job and just talk. But in the Bible, the ACIM, they refer to this moment that they call the holy instant. The holy instant is that moment where you are free of all thoughts. You are free of all perceptions. You neither see past nor future nor, right? And when you are in a holy instant, that is the moment, HOLY, that is the moment when you are wholly, WHOLLY, whole. When you are probably in your most real sense, in the most present of presentist moments. So most people will never experience a holy instant. And if they do, they probably will just, I don't know how they would register it as a moment of peace. I don't know, but you know, if it's something that you're interested in, you can, of course, I want to say it again. I was going to say, of course, you can get the Bible. I mean, the ACIM. Oh my gosh. You can get that book and, or you can just pray to God. You know how I am. I'm just like, listen, God, I want to experience this. I know I don't need anything. What if I was a complete, quadruple amputee and I had no limbs? I don't need anything to connect with you. So if you don't have the text and you just want to ask God, what is this holy instant, holy instant, please, can you let me experience it for a second? It's nice. I think I've only experienced it tops 3 times in life, and I might be generous. I know 1 time for sure, and I was like, huh? And it was an instructional moment. I feel that a lot of times for me in my sacred journey, I don't know about other people, but there are instructional moments where I feel that Spirit or God, whoever it is, will imbue within me a certain personality or a certain feeling where I am that thing for whatever amount of time, whether it's a few minutes or like the whole day, and then it'll leave, and then I'll realize, oh, that was just so I could feel what it is. A lot of times we don't know what love is, for example. We don't know what it feels like to be energetically clean, for example. And so sometimes for whatever, the sake of higher learning, God will give you that moment for you to spend in, and when you're in that moment, you're like, this is what it feels like, but you haven't actually learned how to be that as yet. So it's just an instructional moment. So when the feeling is taken back from you, now you can move forward and know that you don't have that at this moment, but you know what it feels like and you can work towards that. That's an instructional moment. And I feel the first time that I had that holy instant, it was instructional. And that from then on, I was always trying to recreate it, and I do sometimes try to do that as well. So let me be right back. Let me go get that book and see. Hold on, if I can better describe that. Okie dokie, guys. All right, so I'm gonna read to you from this book because I just feel guided to. A Course in Miracles. So. If you do decide to read this book, it is something that is personal for everybody because it's always changing as your growth and perception changes. Spirit is coming through to say. And so for you guys, I'm going to, all these terms that I encountered in the book, I actually put a page number next to the places where they are defined, right? And so for Holy Instant, I'm going to read to you a little bit from here so we kind of get an idea of what this is based on what I have uncovered in this book, but you be your own judge, okay? So on page 358, they say, and remember, it's not religious, it sounds like it, but it's not. They say the Holy Spirit would undo all of this now. Okay, that's based on the last paragraph. Fear is not of the present, but only of the past and future, which do not exist. There is no fear in the present when each instant stands clear and separated from the past, without its shadow reaching out into the future. Each instant, this holy instant, right? Each instant is a clean, untarnished birth in which the Son of God emerges from the past into the present, and the present extends forever. So I just want to pop in and say, basically they're saying that when you are in this holy instant, it refers to this present moment. And they're saying that once you connect to that most present of present moments, you're immediately delivered from the past, because you realize the past doesn't exist. And as they say, the present extends forever because there's no future. So I'm going to continue. It is so beautiful and so clean and free of guilt that nothing but happiness is there. No darkness is remembered, and immortality and joy are now. So I'm going to skip to... Yes. From this holy instant wherein holiness was born again, you will go forth in time without fear and with no sense of change with time. Right? Because there's no concept of time. You can't change. There's no time, because it's just that moment where all is whole. There's no fear, there's no guilt, there's no nothing. And the last part that I'm going to read to you is on page 367, assuming the page numbers are the same. It says, the holy instant is a time in which you receive and give perfect communication. This means, however, that it is a time in which your mind is open, both to receive and give. It is the recognition that all minds are in communication. It therefore seeks to change nothing, but merely to accept everything. All right? So, long story short, you need to get on this book so that you can better understand the holy instant. What am I saying? Is it that late? Holy instant. It is just, it's a very clean, most promising of moments, they're saying. It just is. And in that moment, when you get there, you realize there is no past, there is no future. And the implications that has for us is kind of interesting, right? You just are. And again, I don't know what to tell you to do with that knowledge, but it's what wants to come through today for us. So possibly it's what some of you are going to need as you get more information on your end, wherever you are. Okay? They're saying that they know that you guys have to live in this world at this time, right? They know that you're in this world at this time, but you have to remember that you're not of this world, is what they're saying. So you're in the world, and they know that you have to live, and so you must live with 2 feet on the ground. And of course, this kind of groundedness is important, but so is this kind of learning, they're saying. As I was talking to you, I saw this card flash. For some reason, it just like flashed. So I'm going to see what that's about. But they're saying, that being said, they've come in to you guys, particularly who have been joining these calls with them, because these are just channeling sessions, right? They're connecting with you in spirit and whatnot, and the physical. They're saying that they're bringing you to this table because they're trying to heal you. They're trying to heal your perceptions. And A Course in Miracles, all it's doing is healing your perceptions. That's all it's doing. In fact, they define a miracle as a change in perception, and that's it. The beginning of this book, in the beginning, it just has, I think it's 50 principles that define a miracle. And so I mean, it's such an amazing book, guys. I can't even yeah. So anyway, they're saying that the reason why they're bringing you guys to these calls is to give you that change in perception that you need, because not only have a lot of you had I'm hearing suffered mishaps. Yes, because of insane thinking, commitment to the insane, right? And a lot of us came to these calls because of third-party situations and all sorts of things that happen, understandably, to teach us lessons. But they're saying that at the same time, they're trying to bring you out into the open, out into more awareness because of whatever it is that your journey is, wherever it is that you're heading. They want to heal your perceptions. And they're saying that they know that you do have to live in this world and that you will get covered over again with a lot of stuff and, your daily life, because that's just the way it is. But they're saying, isn't it nice to come and get washed over? That's the feeling. I think that's the biggest thing about this call today. It's God's energy washing us clean, washing over us. It makes me like, I can't wait to go to bed, just to kind of feel that cleanliness and that energy washing over. But they're also saying that you and your loved ones are safe as you dream, as you do everything, as you live on this planet, as you delve into the thought patterns and whatnot on the earth. They're saying your loved ones are safe. You and your loved ones are safe. So just as only love is real, that means that no one is ever really hurt. It means people are innocent, all sorts of stuff. You'll just have to meditate on that to make that connection, right? Because otherwise it's kind of like, what? In the same way as that, they're saying you and your loved ones are always safe. You can never be truly threatened. To believe that you're threatened in your soul and all of this is to believe in misperception. Okay, of course on this earthly plane you can be threatened physically and stuff, but it can't really hurt you as a soul. And I know that there are some doctrines out there that talk about soul stealing and all this and that. And I don't know about that. Maybe I'll wait for Spirit to comment on that. I don't want to talk about something I don't understand. In fact, I'm just channeling. So that's just all there is to it. Anyway, so guys, I'm going to cut this short because I feel like today's lesson or today's energy is not so much a lesson in and of itself. It's just Spirit coming through, God coming through with energy and helping us. And I really feel inviting a lot of people to this text because I think that's what's happening. There's somewhere in this book, I want to find it. Let me pause for a second. All right, actually there are a few things I want to say. Number one, a song that came up. No, not that yet. Number one, I don't know where I saw it, but I saw it somewhere, and it said that A Course in Miracles is a required course. So I'm like, it's a required course? I don't get that. How is it a required course? And I'm not saying, I don't even know how to say this. Did you guys watch Beetlejuice? You guys totally watched Beetlejuice. Great movie back in the day. Remember when Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis, when they died, God bless, and then they went to the other side? Their other side kind of sucked, to be honest. And then when they got back home after visiting the other side, they noticed that there was a book on their table. Or something, or maybe I'm mixing it up. Maybe they died first and then they noticed. That's it. They died and then they woke up and they're like, dude, how did we get out of that water? No spoilers, but you've had long enough to watch this movie. How did we get out of the little river that we went into? And then they're like, what's this book? And then they notice this book. It's the Book of the Dead. And it's like, it's a required reading for everybody who has died. And so I've often wondered when it said, A Course in Miracles is a required course. I was like, why is it a required course? Is it like a text that people read when they are on their last life or when they're about to do something or awake? Like, I don't know. But the book says somewhere else, the advent of a great awakening. So maybe it's on some level supposed to help us to break through, because the whole point of A Course in Miracles is to clear up perceptions so that you can be free and come into full awareness. So I don't know, but in the part that says all about A Course in Miracles, it says the following will be the works of the master teacher of A Course in Miracles. They are ideas about the means and method of the recognition of the transformation of our minds and bodies as we freely escape together far beyond the boundless universe that is all about us. So basically, that just seems like helping us to move beyond whatever belief patterns we have so that we can awaken, right? But another thing that I wanted to tell you was, because you guys know that I'm clairaudient, so I hear a lot of songs and obviously channeling and blah, blah, blah. But one of the songs that came through when I was reading this book vibrationally is that song, That's What Love Is For, by Amy Grant. I love that song. My throat's a little dry right now, disclaimer. But the beginning goes, sometimes we make it... Oh, wrong key. Hold on. Hold on. I actually don't know what the key is. But it's, sometimes we make it much harder than it is. We take the long way round. I think those are the words. Anyway, but check that out. That song, like, I felt energetically spoke to this book, that moment when I was reading it. And the last thing I want to show you is something I wasn't going to show you, but I was flipping through, and then I heard Spirit say stop, and I was like, stop reading from this text? Okay. And then I realized, oh no, it's on a certain page, and it shows like some writing. So I'm going to read it quickly. It says, in sorting out the false from the true, the miracle proceeds along these lines. And then there's like this little poem that it says. It says, perfect love casts out fear. If fear exists, then there is not perfect love. But only perfect love exists. If there is fear, it produces a state that does not exist. All right? So basically, they're saying, listen up. There's no such thing as anything about fear, because the only thing that's real is love. And so if it's not love, then it's fear. And if it's fear, aka not love, then it doesn't exist, because only love is real. All right, anyway, guys, I'm going to stop there. Okay. Because my ego side is like, oh my God, I've lost my audience. But then my other side, which is what started this channel, is the side that said, God, whatever you want from me is whatever I do. So if today I'm talking about A Course in Miracles and God's energy coming through, and then tomorrow I talk about construction and its uses in the Western Hemisphere, and then the next day I talk about cupcakes, then so be it. And so I imagine that whoever needs to get the message will get it. And on cue, my light turned off from my PlayStation. All right, guys, I'm going to bed. God bless us. Thank you, God, for coming through. We seek at all given times, at any time in any existence, just to be in alignment with you, because we know that when we are in alignment with you, we are in alignment with what we really are and who we really are. And that's all there is to it. We do reaffirm that only love is real, and we seek with every breath in our body to reach that state of enlightenment and to be there, and within our dreams to have a joy about the dreams that we make, even in the nightmares that we make. We do invite you in, and we know that you're here. We need only seek for evidence of your existence. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. God bless you all. Mwah. And please enjoy today. And Pisces, God bless you. I'm so sorry. You guys are like, I gave up on you for the monthly reading. Your monthly reading is coming. I have the next 3 days off, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I need it. So I'm going to be working on that. Also, I'll be working on personal readings. And as well, Capricorn totally already shot your video. Would you believe it? It is just not downloading and then uploading. So I've been trying for the past 2 days to take care of that. So I will do my best. And if it still doesn't work, I'll just reshoot a new video for you. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. I am eternally honored. Mwah. Bye.